Hey learners, hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Let's continue with our project demonstration series. I'm sure you all are enjoying different projects which I have uploaded, and today also I have come up with one more project, that is employee record system. This project we are going to do using C programming. I'm sure you will love this project as well. But today I'm not going to give only the demonstration of this project, but I'm going to implement it also for you guys. This will be really useful for all the people who have just started with their programming journey, like for all the computer science students, those who are in their first year course, like BSc Computer Science or in engineering. For them, in the first year course, they will learn sure C programming, and in that C programming, this project will be really helpful for them. So do watch it till the end and try to implement it along with me. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do it by clicking on the bell icon. Okay, so without wasting time, let's start with this project. Now, what all things we are going to use in this project? First basic thing, we will use procedure oriented concept. Like, we will divide the problem into smaller problem, and for each small problem we'll write functions or procedures. Then we are going to use one concept called structure, and one more concept structure, that is a user defined data type, which is collection of dissimilar types, like array, but array is a collection of homogeneous values, structure is a collection of heterogeneous value. And in this structure we'll describe the record of employee, and very important concept, that is file handling. Okay, and we will do this as a menu driven project, in which some menu operations, the basic CURD operations like add record, okay, or search a record. Then we will implement operation like display all records. Then a very important operation like delete record, and one more important operation, that is modify record. Getting? So these are the basic occurred operations which we do on any information system. So we will add a record of an employee, search a record, display all the employee record, delete any employee record, or modify an employee record. Getting? So this will be a menu-driven program, right? Which will be a very simple mini project using these concepts. Now, what all details we will store? Obviously, we'll store employee ID, employee name, then we will store address of an employee, then the designation, then I'll store department of the employee, and then we will store joining date, and one more important thing we will store, that is salary. Getting this basic information we will store ID, the name, address, designation, department, joining date, and we will store salary. Getting? And we are going to use binary file handling concepts. How to do it? I'll show you. Let's quickly move on to the code editor. I'm going to use dev C++ as an ID. Okay, so I'll create one new file, new source file. I'll save that source file as employee management system. I've given the name to it as EMS. Okay. The very first thing, we will include the header file stdio.h. Then, as we need some other files, we will use it if we need it. Then I'm going to define one user defined data structure, that is EMP, and in that user defined data structure, I'll give the properties of an employee. So first will be an employee ID, then the name of an employee, which will be a character array, then address also, then name, address, then we will give designation of an employee, okay, then department of an employee, okay, and the joining date also, joining date, which will keep it as a array, character array. And one final thing is float salary. And to this structure, I'll give name as new name as capital EMP. Okay, so I hope this data structure is clear to you. This structure is describing the information about an employee. Okay, now next what we have to do is we will write the functions for all the operations, like adding a record, then searching record, displaying all records, then deleting the record, modifying record. Okay, so all these operations one by one we will implement, and then we will call them in main. Okay, so let's quickly start with the first operation, that is adding a record. Now in that, first we have to create one file pointer. Okay, so I've created one FP as a pointer of structure file. This capital file is also one structure. Okay, then I'll create one variable of type EMP, capital EMP. I'll create a variable of that type EMP. That's it. Now we will accept the details of employee from the user and save it in that file. But before that, I have to open that file. So fp equal to fopen. I'll give name to it as emp.txt. I'm going to open it in append binary code. Append, the purpose is so that the old records won't get deleted. The old records will also remain, and the new records will get appended at the end. Now one by one I'll accept the information from user. First is employee ID, scanf %d. I'll store it in e dot id. Next, structure variable which I have created. Okay, I've created a variable of this structure which is e, which is variable of type emp. So in e dot id I have stored that detail, employee ID. Next, I have to accept employee name. Okay, so I'm going to accept the name in string form, which will contain space as well. So I'm going to use getS, and to getS I'll pass e dot name. Okay, then printf, enter address as well. Similarly, I'll use getS only, e dot address. Then after address, we will ask for designation and department. So I'll make the appropriate change. Enter designation. Now designation is just one word, but still we are accepting it as a string only. So dot designation. After that, department, I'll accept it as e dot department. And last, I'll accept the joining date, where I'll just give hint, enter the date in this form, dd dash mn dash yy. Okay, that also I'll store it in e dot g8, and finally we are going to accept salary, employee salary. ठीक है, scanf percentage f ampersand e dot salary. Okay, now this whole details of an employee we have accepted. Now this record I have to dump in this file which I have opened it for append binary, right? So what I'll do is I'll use function fwrite. Okay, then the address of the record which you want to save. So your record name is E and ampersand E, so it will take the address of it. Then I have to give size of that record, how many records you're going to write, one, and the file pointer. Okay, so at a time one record, then this is the size of that record. This is the address of that record, memory address. And from the memory address, the bytes are transferred into the file buffer, whose file pointer you have given. And then we are going to close that file. And if you want, you can give a message, record saved successful. This is just a message which we are going to give. Okay? Now I hope the operation of adding a record is clear to you guys. Okay? Next what we'll do is we will write a function to display all the records. Okay? Very simple function. Void display all, or I'll just give the function as display. Now to display record also, I have to open the file. So I'll need a file pointer, and then from the file I'll be reading one record at a time. That record I'll be copying it in my employee record. So I'll need one variable of type employee and one file pointer. Okay, then first I'll open that file in read mode, our employee file emp.txt, read binary. Now chances are there that this file doesn't exist because maybe you give the option display only first in the menu. So what we'll do is we'll check whether that FP is null. Because whenever the file opening fails, always you should remember that in C, whenever the file open fail, it is going to return null. Null is actually a macro in stdio.h. Its real value is 0. It is just a symbolic constant, just to, it's a stylistic approach. Null makes it more readable. Here I'll just give a message as failed to open file, and what I'll do is I'll just go back to the main. So I'll write return semicolon. So it will just go back again to the main. But if suppose, okay guys, if suppose the record is the file is opened successfully, then we'll start reading one by one record and printing it on the monitor. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just give some heading, as I want to display all these records in a tabular form. I'll put a dash line, and I'll put the headings like ID, tab, and name, tab, address, then designation, then department, then joining date, and last is salary. Okay, these are the fields which we are going to display of every employee. Then again a heading, dotted line. Now we'll start with a while loop because we have to read many records from the file one by one. Okay, now to read one record I'm going to use fread. The parameters are very much same like fwrite. First I have to give the address of the buffer in which I want to read the record. So the address is the address of my employee record, getting ampersand E, in which the record will get copied now from the file. Then the size of record, then how many records at a time, that is 1, and from where, from FP, and fread always returns you the number of bytes it has successfully read. Till it is returning greater than 0 means the record is read successfully, and the moment it returns 0 means it has reached beyond last record, means it has reached to end of the file. Getting? So greater than 0 signifies that the record is being read successfully. Now whatever record is read, it has come in this E, and E is a variable of type employee, and it is having different members, that all data members we will print one by one. So I'll print here first person D, that is the ID, then percentage S, that is name, percentage S, that is address, percentage S, that is designation, again percentage S, department, percentage S, that is joining date, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last is percentage F, that is salary, and the new line. Now after this, we are going to print all the members of our structure E, in which that information has come from the file. So E.id, E.name, then E.address, then E.designation, E.department, E.joining date, and E.salary. Clear? You can see 7 members, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? And when all the records are printed, again one dotted line we will put. So I can copy this dotted line from here, and I'll just put it down, and then return. Sorry, here nothing to return. I'll just close the file. F close. F. That's it. Okay, I'll just close the file which we have opened. Now here completes the display operation. I hope you have understood. We opened that file in a read mode. We just checked whether it is null. If yes, then we give appropriate error message and just return back to the main menu. No, though we have given a heading, column headings, that is ID, name, address, designation, department, joining date, salary. And through while loop, I have read one record at a time from the file in this E. And then whatever values have come in E, I'm just displaying it on the monitor by printf. Okay. Now let's move on with the next operation quickly. What will be the next operation? That will be search. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll search on the ID basis. Okay, guys. So we will search the record on the basis of ID. Now, how to do it? See. What I'll do is I'll write a function, and if the record is found successfully, we will return one flag, that is true, and if not found, we'll return the flag as 0. Okay. Or if you don't want to return anything, then inside only what you can do is you can display if the record is found, then we will give the message found and the details, and if it is not found, then not found message. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll write a function called void search, and that employee ID also we will accept inside only. First, again we want to search the record within the file. So obviously I have to create a file pointer. Right? So I'll create a file pointer. Then I'll create one employee structure record and one temporary variable integer ENO or EID or temporary ID, which is the one which we want to search. Now first I'll accept employee ID. Okay, first what we'll do is we will open the file in read mode. So I can copy little bit code from here. This much part I'll copy, that is fp equal to fopen, then fp equal to null, and if it is null I'll give the appropriate field to open. No, then we will ask to the user enter ID to be searched. ठीक है, scanf %d ampersand tid. So this is the ID of the employee which we want to search. Now through while loop we will go on reading each record one by one and will match the read record's ID with this ID. If it matches, we will display all the details and break the loop. But if I am completing with the loop and the record is not printed, getting, so we will give the message that so and so employee ID doesn't exist. Okay, see here, what I'll do is while f read, I have to read the record in that E, right guys? Then the size of that record I have to give. How many record at a time? One. From where? The file pointer greater than 0. This will go on till fread returns greater than 0. And fread returns the number of bytes which it has successfully read. Okay. Now what I have to do is, whatever record is read, its ID, I'll match with this TID. Yeah. So I'll e.id equal to TID is matching, means the record is found. So through fread we are reading one by one record from the file, and the record which we have read, its ID we are matching with TID. If it is matching, I'll display all the details. First I'll display the ID, e.id. Then we will display the name, then the address, then the designation, then the department, joining date, salary. Okay, appropriate changes I'll do. First we'll display name, then we will display address, then we will display designation, right guys? Then we will display department, then we will display joining date, and last we will display salary. I'll make the appropriate changes here. Okay, we want this app to be all in one line or in one column. Okay, so I'll bring them all in one column so that it will look more better. Here %s, 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 and here %f. Then here I'll make the appropriate change, dot name, then dot address, then dot designation, then dot department, then dot joining date, and last dot salary. Okay. Now this whole information is printed and will break the loop. Getting? So we will break the loop and come out of the loop. Now if the loop is terminated prematurely, getting? So your end of the file has not occurred. But if the record is not found, then your loop will naturally terminate, and that time the end of the file will be true. So there is one function which we will use to check whether really the record is found or not. So what I'll do is I'll use one function FUF. I'll pass the file pointer, and if it is coming true, I'll give a message here, printf employee ID person D not found. That is TID. Okay, and then I'll just close the file. F close. Getting? And you should remember that if the record is found, then it is going to premature terminate this loop. This loop will be terminated prematurely. And when it comes here, this FEOF will be false because obviously end of the file has not occurred. But if the record is not found, then sure end of the file will occur. Okay, guys. Now here we complete with the search operation. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll go for delete operation. Now how to implement delete operation? So that we will see. Okay. What we'll do is the employee ID which you want to delete that you ask to the user. Now we have already one file called emp.txt and I'm going to create one more file called tmp.txt, that is temp.txt. What I'll do is all the records I'll copy from this file to that file except the employee ID which I want to delete. Like suppose there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records and I want to delete 3 suppose. So I'll read the record and check whether it is the ID which I want to delete. No, then copy it here. 2. Is it the ID which I wanted to delete? No, then copy here. Is this the ID which I want to delete? Yes, then don't copy. And then again copy the remaining records. After that, what we'll do is we'll delete this file from the directory and we'll rename this file back again to emp.txt. Okay, so this is the simple policy which we will follow over here. Now, what I'll do is I'll write the function called delete rec. I'll give delete rec, then this search I've given, here I've given add rec. All the function name consistency we will maintain. So here also I give display rec, search rec. Okay. Then delete rec. Now obviously we'll need 2 file pointers, file pointer 1 and file pointer 2. Okay guys, 2 file pointers because one will be the main file and the another is the template file. Then I need one employee ID and I need one employee record, okay, in which I'm going to read the record one by one. First what I'll do is I'll open that first file in which mode? Read mode. So first this logic I'm going to copy it as it is from here. Okay. So I'm going to open this employee.txt in read mode. If it is not found, I'll give the appropriate message, but the file pointer is 1 now. Then next what I'll do is I'll open the second file, that is temp.txt in append binary. Or we can open it in write mode as well, doesn't make difference. Because anyway we are going to delete it. And now I'm going to accept the ID of the employee which I want to delete. So this printf scanf, I'll just copy it as it is down. Right guys? See. Only I'll give message enter ID to be deleted. Okay. Now first what I'll do is I'll start with a while loop, reading the records one by one. So fread &e. Then I'm going to read how many bytes size of E at a time, one record from fp1 till greater than 0. This you know it. Why? Because whenever fread returns the number of bytes which it has read successfully. So whenever it has read a record successfully, it's going to return greater than 0. Okay. So now we are reading one by one record. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to check whether the read record e dot id is matching with, okay, the temporary id. If yes, what we are going to do is we are just going to make one flag as 1. And now I have not declared that flag. I'll declare that flag. Else what I'll do is I'll just simply write that record in the another file by using fwrite ampersand e size of e one record at a time in fp2. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm reading the record, and if that record ID doesn't match with our ID, then we are simply writing it in the second file. Getting? That's all. Nothing else. We are reading from here and putting it into another file. Okay. And if it is matching, I'm just making the flag as 1. Now here I was supposed to declare one flag as well. Flag which is default 0. Okay. Now, after the while loop is over, what all things we have to do? We have to close both the file, f close fp1, f close fp2. Next, what we have to do is we have to delete the old file. So for that, there is one function called remove, and the file name is emp.txt. And to rename, there is a rename function. You have to give the old name. Old name is now it is going to be temp.txt, and its new name is going to be again our old name. Getting? And now we just want to give a message that really the record is deleted or no, or the record didn't, we didn't get the record. So if the flag is 1, the record was not was found, and therefore we should give the message as record deleted successfully. If the flag is 1, I'm just going to give the message printf employee or record deleted successfully. Getting? Else will give a message printf employee id %d not found, comma TIP. That's all. Getting? Now, somewhat similar policy, guys, we are going to follow for modifying the record. Okay. So for modifying, what we'll do is the same policy we will follow. Only what we have to do is from your original file, that is emp.txt. Okay. And this is your temp.txt. So the record which we want to modify, that employee number, we will accept it. If the employee number doesn't match, copy it as it is. But if it is matching, then what you do is display the current information and ask for the new information, and then save the new record over there. Getting? So what we have to do is we have to read the employee ID and the delete, the employee ID which we want to modify, that we will accept. Go on reading the record. If that ID doesn't match with our ID, copy it. Doesn't match, copy. If it matches, then don't copy this record. Copy the new record over there. Getting? New record you copy over there, and again the same remaining records as it is. Right, guys? So it's quite simple operation. Let us quickly implement it. Some part is going to be very much similar to delete. So I'm going to copy some part from here. Okay? Till the while loop I'll copy, and then I'll tell you what changes to do. Okay? Appropriate changes. See here, void, we will give the operation name as modify. Still here we will need two record pointer fp1, fp2. Okay, then the id of the employee which we want to delete, one flag we have to keep. Okay, then the employee record. First file we have to open it in read mode. The second file we are going to open it in write mode. Okay, then we will ask for the employee id which is to be deleted. Okay, so instead of deleted we will give employee id which is to be modified. Then we'll start with a while loop. Okay, then every time we will check the id of the record which is read with this PID. Okay, if it is matching, means the record is found. So obviously we have to make the flag as 1 as we did it in case of delete. So here also we have to do it. But first what we'll do is we will display the current values. Okay. Now to display the current value, we'll take some printf part from here. Okay. And then we will ask for the new values as well. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll display here the current values. We give one statement like that, printf current values slash. Okay, then we will ask for the new values, but without id we will not modify. Id will keep same. Name, address, designation, department, joining date, salary, that all things we will accept from the user. Okay, so for that I'll give again some printf message. So that part, a little bit part I'll copy from accept. You can see this, accepting the name, address, designation, joining date, salary. Okay, all the modified values we will accept here. Okay, so what I'll give the message as enter new name or new address, new designation, new department, new joining date, new salary. Everything I'll collect it in this employee structure. Now this part is done. E.id equal to T.id. To do this, display the old values and accept the new value. And after that, save this in the file and in the another file. And if it is not matching, then also save it in the another file, whatever the current record is, isn't it? So what we have to do is see fwrite ampersand e size of e 1 fp2. Then the same procedure which we did it for writing purpose, we will close both the files, then remove the old file, rename the temp file as an old file, check flag is 1. If the flag is 1, give the appropriate error message. See. Okay? You're getting? I hope it is clear. Only the changes, if the ID is matching with the ID, we will display the current value, accept new value, and save the record in the second file. And if it doesn't match, then copy the record as it is. Anyway, you have to copy the record. Okay. Then close both file. The same thing which we did at the time of deleting. Here, if the flag is 1, I'll give message record modified successfully. Else, I'll give message employee ID not found. Correct? Now guys, we have implemented all these operations. Now this all operations we have to call in main program. In the main function, we will present a menu to the user. with the options 1 to 5, and sixth option will be exit. And then depending on the choice what user give, we will give call to the functions. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll write main. Now in main we'll need one variable ch. Okay, integer ch, which will be for choice. Now I'll write a do while loop. Obviously the while condition will be till the choice is not equal to 6. Now within the do while loop, I'll display one menu. First option by using printf statement. First option is add record, right? I'll put a new line. Second, search a record. Then the third option will be for display all records. Then I put fourth option as delete record. Printf fifth option, modify record. Okay, and last printf sixth option is exit. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll give this menu little bit, it should look little bit better. So I'll put some tabs and bring the menu little bit in the center of the screen. So I'll put 2 tabs over here, and little bit to make it more beautiful, I'll put some dotted or dash lines above the menu. And after this choices also I'll put some dash lines. Okay, and then we will ask to the user to enter choice. So enter your choice 1-6. Okay, scanf %d, and we will accept the choice in ch. Now we'll pass this ch to switch case, and depending on the case value, we will give call to the appropriate function. Like case 1, I'm going to give call to function add. Okay, add record. Then case 2 will be to search a record. Right, guys? Then case 3 I'll give to display all the records. Then case 4 I'll give for deleting record. And last case 5 I'll give for modifying record. Now based on the choices, you can see appropriate function is called, and if the choice is 6, the do while loop will stop and then return 0. Okay, now I hope you have understood this main menu part also. We will quickly run it and see. Now if there are any errors, we'll try to remove the errors. Now as the errors are not there, okay, you can see once we execute it, you can see the menu has come. Now if I give choice number 1, it asks you for the ID, but after that, can you see it is directly going to accept the address? It is not accepting name, because what happened is when you entered that ID and you pressed enter, that enter key is got saved in that name, and for accepting name it is not now waiting, and directly it has come to accept address. So how to remove that enter key from the buffer? So what we'll do is we will just add one dummy getS over there. Okay, just above this getS, I'll put again one more getS, e dot name. ठीक है. So what will happen is the enter key which we have entered after this ID, that will get retrieved by this getS, and now again in the getS it will wait for you to enter the name. Okay, so let's compile and run it now. Choice number 1, ID 101. Now it is waiting for you to enter the name. You can see I'll enter my name like Ajit More. I'll enter address Kurdi, designation clerk, department sales, joining date I can put 24 3 2000, salary 4500, 45,000. I'll enter. One record is saved. Okay, now one more record I'll save. Few records I'll enter 567. Then I'll put my friend's name Amol Desai, address, change word, designation, manager, department, production, joining date 15/01/2005, salary 50,000. ठीक है. One more record I'll add. I'll give ID 777. One more friend of mine, address Pimpri, designation manager again, department accounts, joining date I'll give 23/10/2005, salary 57,000. ठीक है. तो few records are saved. Let's see all the records are saved or no successfully. So I'll give choice number 3. I think you can see this. The records are saved: ID, name, address, designation. Little bit formatting is needed, that you can try it. Okay, now we will just see why this date is getting attached. I think one /t might be missing. Yes, here only /t I'll give. You can use some widths and all and try with that. Okay, so now you can see the salary, the joining date, and everything has come. Now let's try to perform some other operations like to search. We'll give ID as 101. You can see 101 is present, therefore the details have come. But suppose if I give ID as 111, which is not there, it gives appropriate message: employee ID 111 not found. Getting? We'll try to modify some record, like we'll first display all. Suppose I want to modify record 777, suppose 5, for example. The fifth option I'll give ID 777. First, it is displaying all the details, the current details, and asking for the new detail. So again, the same issue, when I entered that ID, after that, it didn't wait for you to enter it, the name. So the same problem which happened at the time of accept. So what I'll do is I'll add one dummy getS in that modify operation. Here, getS e.name. Okay. So modify operation number 5. I'll give 777. See, it's displaying the current value and now it's asking you for the new value, new name. Suppose I'm keeping it same. Okay, address Pimpri only, designation changing to CEO, department accounts 23102005, salary has become 75000. Okay, that's all. Record modified successfully. Let's see if the records are modified successfully. We will display all the record. You can see the record is changed. This is changed to CEO. The salary is changed. Okay. And last option will try to perform for delete 4. Suppose I give 111. So that 111 is not there. But suppose I'm trying to delete 567. Okay, 567. The record is deleted successfully, and we will again display the records. And in that, can you see 567 is not there? So all these options are working fine. Now you can make it still better. If you need any help, you can sure contact me. You can make this better by adding some more options, like instead of displaying all the record, display designation wise, accept the designation and display only the records of that designation, or city wise, or you can say department wise, ask the department and display the records only of that department, or joining date wise, or highest salary, or you can add an option called sort all the records on the basis of salary or on the name basis. So a lot of options you can add. Getting, I can sure help you for that. You can try doing that. Okay, I hope you will like this small mini project, and soon coming with some more projects. Keep watching, keep learning, keep evolving, and don't forget to click on the bell icon. Okay, thank you all of you.